Hello, and welcome to the Think Moisturizer Think Agenda podcast series coming live to you from Dermacon 2026 Bangalore. We are on day 2 today, and we are going to get yet another set of dermatologists who are going to decode some of the daily, everyday skincare concerns that we face very simply, scientifically, and without any hype. Today, we are going to focus on something very important but yet neglected, that is skin dryness and moisturization. Everyone at some point in time experiences skin dryness, and there are so many misconceptions, so many trends going around everywhere, and we are sometimes confused not because of lack of information, maybe sometimes also because of over information that is running all over the internet. Hi, I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Smita Prabhu, a professor and HOD dermatology in KMC Manipal. Welcome, ma'am, to the show.
Thank you so much.
Today we are going to have a very interesting take because ma'am is not only a professor, she is also an HOD in dermatology, so she will have a very academic view to all questions that we have because we tend to have so much information all over the internet and sometimes also some misinformation. I think ma'am is the right person for us to give us so much clarity on what things we might be going wrong, what things to follow, what things not to follow. So I think this is going to be a really interesting session. I'm very excited. Are you excited, ma'am? Can we go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So ma'am, my first question to you is that as a dermatologist, often we as patients we come across a lot of ingredients like hyaluronic acid and ceramides and glycerin in moisturizers. So for a normal person who is watching this or coming across this information from anywhere, let's say from an influencer or from anywhere on the internet, how does these ingredients actually help our skin, and how do you use them in your clinical practice? Like, is there a particular ingredient for a particular type of skin or an age? Is there some differentiation?
I consider multiple parameters when choosing a moisturizer.
Okay.
I agree that there are lots of conflicting information, lots of very costly and very specialized moisturizers in the market.
Yes.
But my view is for a normal skin, the even liquid paraffin or normal white soft paraffin will do,
Okay.
or the usual moisturizers,
Okay.
which don't boast of ceramides. Of course, ceramides and oatmeal containing moisturizers are quite good for the skin. But only problem with those is the cost. So if you don't mind the cost, you can go with that. But for a normal middle income group Indian, even oil or even any other liquid paraffin or moisturizing cream will do. I give ceramides and oatmeal mostly for atopic dermatitis, ichthyosis vulgaris, or very old people with severely itchy inflamed skin. Sometimes these barrier protecting moisturizers can help in reducing the topical steroid use.
Okay.
And of course, I tell to apply moisturizers immediately after bathing and wiping the body dry.
Okay.
Though nowadays some do say that any time it's useful.
Correct. So you're saying that the right time to moisturizers immediately after you bathe.
Immediately after bathing or wetting the body in the evening.
So this view we've heard from other dermats also. I wanted to understand the science behind it.
Science behind is that most of the people with dry skin, they don't have oil layer like we all. People with normal skin, our skin can retain water and our skin will have a layer of sebum on top.
Correct.
So dry skin people and those with ichthyosis and other diseases, they don't have the skin barrier. So when skin barrier is not there, whatever water comes inside the skin through bathing or exposure, it will immediately go back to the atmosphere by transpiration. So the moisturizer will form a layer on the skin and will prevent. It's like covering cracks using Vaseline, making it smooth. So that's the mechanism behind it.
Okay, so you're saying that whatever water we are using during aging.
It goes in the skin. That's why skin is soft or immediately after.
Correct.
After
But it also
it
evaporates.
evaporates depending on our skin type. So
So kind of you're preventing.
it's something like a layer.
Oh,
That is
okay.
the simplest term.
Wait, so you're saying that if somebody uses a moisturizer at any other given point in the any other time of the day, they might have to reapply. But if they're doing it immediately after bathing,
Yeah,
that
it
might
has.
sustain.
Yeah, that's
throughout
what
the
I
day.
feel. But
Okay.
anytime it's good.
Okay. Okay. So coming to that, now that you've given so much clarity, I would also like to understand from you. There is a lot of confusion between two terms that I think are used very interchangeably. Like there's something called as hydration and there's something called as moisturization. Can you give us clarity on what is the difference?
Hydration comes from within. You drink water, you bathe, you hydrate the body.
Correct.
Moisturization is you apply the moisturizer.
Correct.
Moisturizing may retain hydration. That's all.
Oh, so it is that you're drinking water, you're hydrating your body,
Yeah,
and the
even
water will evaporate. So to
Yeah.
prevent that, you're using a moisturizer.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to
Not
say.
only drinking, it's by pouring water on your body, the water gets absorbed.
Correct. Correct.
Hydration occurs and then
Lovely. I think this is a very
Yeah.
interesting thing. So you're saying that a moisturization is kind of a prevention of the hydration that you already have.
water to escape.
Oh, lovely.
And then ceramides and all can help to repair the skin barrier also.
Oh, I think this is a very interesting take. I don't think anybody would have given this kind of a clarity on how hydration and moisturization are two different things, and one is preventing the other. I think that's a lovely take on this topic. Another thing that I have is people usually with age they say that when you're younger you typically have a better skin health, and they feel that as I'm aging my skin health, aging is of course one part of it, having lines and wrinkles is another thing, but I think the quality of skin also deteriorates with age. What are the contributing factors?
Actually, the skin has epidermis and dermis. In the dermis, there is collagen fiber. Collagen fiber can sort of absorb water, and the dermis is something like a jelly. So
Correct.
as we age, the collagen fibers become less, and they become more drier, and it's like a well hydrated plant and slightly dry plant. So when the collagen also decreases, and then skin barrier repair is not much during aging, and the sebaceous glands, the oil producing glands will atrophy as we age.
Correct.
And moreover, the anti-cholesterol medications and other medications we are taking can also influence the sebaceous gland,
Correct.
causing atrophy. So older people invariably have a inelastic. The inelasticity is because of reduction of elastin fiber along with collagen. So the dry inelastic skin is invariably seen in older people to one extent or the other.
Okay. So it is something that physiologically is happening
It's
in
a
your
physiological process.
Okay, lovely. So coming to so we've understood, we've got so much clarity on hydration, moisturization. We've got clarity on how things change as per age. Now that we're living in a very digital age and in the era of AI, artificial intelligence, I would like to understand from you, because you've been in academics and you are still in academics. What do you think is the future of AI in skin health? Because nowadays we come across so many tools that say that
Even I won't be able to tell. AI is rapidly evolving. I don't know
Absolutely.
what will happen after 5 years.
correct.
But as of now, AI detects moles, cancers. They can distinguish moles from cancers, skin
Correct.
cancers,
Correct.
and some minor conditions. Sometimes AI helps the layman to detect by themselves.
Correct.
But I would say before going to treatment, always seek the help of a qualified dermatologist.
Correct. So even if AI is providing solutions, I think it is necessary that you check with a dermatologist.
Yeah,
You need to rely on human intelligence more than artificial intelligence.
yeah.
It can give you some guidance. It might help you understand your condition better, but it will also help you to ask the right questions to the doctor as well. Right? So that is a role that you think AI will play in future. I think we would love to be in this future. And thank you so much, ma'am, for joining
Thank you
in the
so much.
session.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And we are live to you from Dharmakon 2026 Bangalore. It's day 2. Stay tuned with us for most interesting topics and tips and clarity on all the misinformation that we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.